before we start going on with our little updates, is we commissioners wanted to thank somebody who's dedicated and puts in long hours for very little pay, probably zero if any. So Mary Furlong, if you would like to come up here.
No.
We gotta be in front of him.
So
If we have to.
people sometimes quietly
I thought it was
criticize.
gonna be Boone.
Sometimes we criticize the camera being there, but it keeps everybody doing what they're supposed to do and honest. So this is a gift certificate.
Hey, I want all the commissioners with me.
Smile at the camera.
Hi, Mom.
So that's a gift certificate for you for River Edge. Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
And,
Well deserved. Well deserved.
and I haven't been to Costco yet, but I'll get you some batteries.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. So nice. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So I'm a creature of habit. I always seem to go clockwise. So the Butte lady
Oh, all right.
can
Okay.
begin.
Is this
The lady from
it is
Butte.
clockwise. Dang it.
The second hand is hitting your area.
Oh, that's right. Okay, all right. And a few of you didn't get a chance to meet our new legal assistant. It's Melanie Batt, and I was just saying to Guna and the judge that she started on Monday, and when she left for lunch, I was nervous, but she came back, and she's been there, and she's come early, and she's there way before I am, which I'm sure she appreciates, having a little quiet, and she's just trying to take it all in, and she's working hard. I think she's going to do really well. I think she's interested in the job. I think she's a hard worker. She just has to learn it. And once she's got it, I think we're going to be good. So, just be patient with us. We'll figure it out. And we're just busy. We just had a trooper in here on another drug arrest. And he likes me to review his warrants, which I appreciate that he has me look at. He writes a good warrant, but just to be on the safe side. And I think we're saying, this is Judge Townsend in court on December 27th said, you sure have had a busy month, Ellen? And I said, a busy year, but we've had, I don't know how many felonies just in December. Maybe 8 or 10, and I still have a few I have to charge. I haven't even gotten around to charging them yet. So we know that this is a corridor for drugs, and so, and then the stop today, if we do get the warrant, it was a 2018 Infiniti. But unfortunately, it's a rental car, because when I see what kind of car it is, I'm saying, oh God, I hope he owns it. I hope he owns it. And we get to forfeit it, but it's a rental
Those guys
car,
are
darn
too
it.
smart. They
Yes,
hold the
yeah,
door.
they're not gonna drive their own nice car. So, so just that's what we're dealing with, and just any questions with Melanie, or just have her check with me, and she'll do great. Yeah.
Do most of those felony or drug charges come from the interstate?
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is the fourth one Trooper Isbell has brought us, maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, and they've all been interstate. Yep.
And big busts.
Big busts. One was almost 30 pounds of marijuana. Wow. One was over 10 pounds of marijuana. I think this is going to be a marijuana too from the smell. We've got 2 more guys. The 2 guys who are up in Sanders still, I had them on a $100,000 bond because they had a couple ounces of meth. And the feds are saying they're going to take that case, and I hope they do. I never have a problem with it. Here we go. Just remember us if you get a fine. Yeah, so, yep, the highway, this is just a perfect, and I think with California going recreational, it's going to come right up. We're seeing a lot of people from Seattle and Redding, California. So that must be where they seem to grow it.
I fought a fire once there.
Really?
Yeah, and they warned us about marijuana grows.
So it is, because we've had 2 different cases recently where they both said they're coming from Redding. And I was like, oh, there's got to be something up there. It's got to be like country land or something. Oh my gosh.
Idaho, and that where it was, little town, 7 miles.
Oh, okay, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah. Yep.
So Judge Magone.
Well, kind of what Ellen was talking about, they're signing a few search warrants, and they've been, Trooper Isbell's been real active. Jordan Gooley, been a little busy, so been a lot going on there. As far as the collection report for the year, we've collected 191,000, a little over 191,000. And last year we collected a little over 173,000, so that's up 10%. Half of that goes to the county, so it's pretty good chunk for the county. The rest goes to the state. But
Are you able to see how much is still owing, like delinquent? I don't know if they do it per
probably can.
year, but
I
yeah.
probably can,
Because I'm impressed you've gotten that much.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's tough to collect. I mean, you can't get a
We've
a
been
blood from a turnip,
working that
so,
pretty hard.
yeah, that's impressive.
Threatening to take their license away and what have you, so it's working pretty good. And usually what happens is that we send out a letter and saying, okay, we're gonna take your license away if you don't pay by such and such a date, and we're gonna send you to collections, and could you wait for another month past that, and when you or Kim sit down and they send it to collections and suspend their license, send that information to DMV, and the next day the people call and wanna pay. So they're 24 hours late.
Yeah. And the court's really good if somebody's supposed to pay like $20 a month and they can't. As long as they contact the court or they pay $5, they'll take anything, because we really don't want it to go to collections, because they're never going to get out of that.
Right.
What was a $50 fine is now going to be $1,000 because attorneys tack on all sorts of interest rates and fees and fines, and you just hate to see it go to collections because they're never going to dig themselves out of that.
Well, that one guy this morning, he was $3,000 in collections. And a guy's unemployed. He's never going to pay it off. He's never getting his driver's license back.
You're right.
But
So it's a vicious cycle.
We used to have all the warrants.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever take care of their warrants.
Yeah.
But we started doing the collection thing, and people are more scared of collections than they are warrants.
Right, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially if
Well, we're no
it's-
dummies.
Well, Kate,
You notice it's just as it's Boone's turn to talk. He gets a phone call. This is all planned.
Yep.
You just thought he was sending emails.
That's right, he's saying somebody sent a call.
Call me in 3 minutes.
Yes, yes. The old green file, that's what we used to call it. You need that green file, Ellen? Yes, I do.
well, cases were quite a bit up. This year, we had a little over 2,200. Last year, we had a little over 1,600.
Wow.
So we're almost 600 ahead of last year. Most of that's traffic, speeding, and that type of thing.
Cases, so that's like people that plead not guilty and you have to entertain them in court, you mean?
What's that?
You're calling a case something that's, what's he calling a case?
Just-
I think just citations.
Citations.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
And
it does,
a
even
lot
if they
of
plead guilty or,
Yeah, a lot of them we don't see, they just pay.
okay. I
Yeah.
thought-
Driving suspended and those type of things, they do come to court and plead not guilty, and we have to go through the hearings and all that. In fact, I think we did, 15, 16 hearings this morning.
yeah, probably, yeah.
We had 5 initial appearances, and all 5 of them never showed.
You start to take it personally. Reminds me of my dating life.
So they don't take us very seriously. Well, the other thing is that it is up over last year is crimes against persons,
Oh, really?
like assaults, PFMAs, criminal endangerment, things like that. That's, this year was 32, last year was 24, so it's eight up on that.
Yeah, that's
And a lot of those are probably
33%.
PFMAs.
Yeah, darn.
Tis the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's the acronym? FMA?
Oh, partner family member assault.
PFMA.
Okay.
Used to call them,
Puffmas? Puffmas? No.
yeah, puff,
Yeah,
puff.
the police used to call it that, and I would tell them not to call it that, because I thought they were making light of it.
Yeah.
Puffing it up a little.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, was talking with Ellen today about restitution. We need to kind of be aware of that a little more. A lot of times you get a basic rule or a careless driving citation, there's a crash involved. You don't know if they just slid off into the road into a snowbank, or if they ran into a guardrail or somebody else's vehicle. So we need to maybe have a meeting on that, try to figure out how to watch that a little closer. Because some of them do sneak by, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you get away from it, you're out of jurisdiction, and you lose it.
Yeah, and somebody could sue civilly, but if we can help them at all, like we had a case where a woman hit a bridge and it did significant damage and the county's the victim. So we had Jason fill out a form and he actually came and testified to what it cost to fix the bridge. And if she had, just had pled guilty to it and it was a no insurance and just, we would have not have known about that. If she just come in and pled guilty, it wouldn't have come up to our office and we wouldn't have said, wait a minute, she actually hit something. So we just have to figure out, because it's tough when they just come in and plead guilty.
So
We never find out about it, so the victim advocate doesn't know.
basic
and-
rule to it, struck I-90 bridge rail or something.
Right, so we were talking about if there's a way, we're gonna try to meet with all the law enforcement, highway patrol, fish and game, the sheriff's office, and see if they could even write on their ticket, possible restitution, or hit an object, or crash into a building, or Yeah.
Also just say crash, but if they put crash/restitution or something.
just
at least we
something.
know.
Then they know, even if they go online, because you can go online and pay, just plead guilty and pay your careless driving, they won't accept it. It'll say, there's a box that they can check that says, no, you have to come in to pay it. Just to, we know that they can sue civilly, but
Yeah.
you feel bad for somebody who, we missed it, but we just didn't know.
Yeah,
So-
they can check, the clerks can check that box, and so they can't go online. If they go online through SitePay and pay the citation, we never know.
Yeah, and if they pled guilty, we never know. So a month later, we get a call from somebody saying, that person knocked down my fence. I just wanted to see if we were gonna get some help with that. And, ooh, what fence? Yeah,
Well, you get a citation for careless, but there's not a no insurance citation too. We know they have insurance, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But if it's a combination of the two, then we do have to worry about it. So we want to kind of get together and talk about that a little bit, and make sure everybody's kind of aware. Because we did have that one case this last week that it was you can see an accident with possible apparent damage over 1,000.
oh, the trial?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we actually had a trial on something like this, yep, just last Thursday or
Yeah.
Friday.
So, and that almost gave me on a heart attack.
It was just a goofy bench trial, and I had to apologize to the judge. I got a little frustrated with the defense attorney.
Well,
Was this the town pump one?
yeah.
Yeah, we actually went to trial.
Really?
Yeah.
How come I didn't get called?
You lucky dog.
My case.
Oh, then it wasn't yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Whitlatch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had one when was supposed to be trial, and then they backed out last minute.
No.
I'll sit down and watch the video, I don't care.
I looked over at Ellen and she was cross-eyed. She was. So, everything else is going along good. Not much change otherwise. Staying busy. Oh, I did run the numbers too on
Just,
criminal.
yeah, 'cause I have no idea.
This is kind of a separate thing, but their criminal charges are 73. And I don't know, I can't run what last year was, so I don't know if that's up or not.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
And civil was 131 for last year, this last year, so I'll see if I can figure out if I can run for the previous year, but
And the the TKs are all the tickets, that anybody writes. The CRs are stuff that come up to me, like maybe it's a partner family member assault, and by the time they get there, the person that they think is the defendant has left, so the officers can't just see him at Castles a week later and arrest him. They have to send it up to me and I charge them. So there's been 73 this calendar year. I would think last year might have been less because they didn't have very many. I mean, there was that lull with having a county attorney.
Right.
So that means stuff comes up to me and I charge it. And I thought that was a pretty good number. I didn't realize I had done that many.
yeah. And civil keeps us pretty busy.
Mhm.
A lot of paperwork involved. We get fat envelopes every day. And like Ellen was saying too, I feel bad for these people because they end up going to a credit collection agency and collection agency tax on their nominal fees. And that
True.
ends up being pretty more than they owed in the first place.
Mhm. Pert near?
Pert near.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to steal that. Pert near.
Don't take
near.
notes.
Pert near. I love that. So that's like pretty near? Pert near. I'm doing it. And I'm doing it in court too. Your Honor. I pretty near think he's guilty. I
If you got
love
Dayshaw,
that.
he'll appreciate it.
Okay, I
Not the
will.
others.
Yeah, because he doesn't like me. Okay, but no, for some reason, that
Oh,
guy.
wow.
Yeah, he's my. Well, I'm sure there's a reason, but yeah. Everybody else we do okay, but boy, Dayshaw, I just rubbed him wrong. So okay, pert near. I'm stealing that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. I'm not gonna say anymore.
I love it.
Well, to assuage you a little bit, Ellen, and to ease your self-esteem issue there, nobody has very good luck dating. This is Mineral County.
Oh, okay, good. All right, phew.
You're not the only one.
Starting to take it personal. I didn't have a good.
If none of us
dynamic
were
in Butte
married,
either.
we'd probably be going to Seattle for a date. So.
I didn't do so well in Butte either, though.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
And there's one common denominator, and it's me.
We'll start talking like Judge McGoney. You'll pertinently have lots of boyfriends.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm writing this down. This is going in my Match.com personal profile. I'm pert near perfect. Yeah, fellas, where are you? I'm pert near perfect. That's what I'm doing.
And Sheriff Boone, how's it going in your department?
Well, it's been busy with the roads and whatnot, you know, and,
What's next?
you know, people just do not know how to slow
Oh,
down.
I know. I was just telling him. I was talking to Smalley, he's told me how many wrecks have been going on here. It's like, we drive up and down that road all the time helping pull these people out of the ditch, and
Yeah.
wow, how come we're not wrecking, you know?
I mean, you're out there and, you know, we drive on these things every day.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing 65 and here comes somebody out of state,
Mhm.
80, 82, 83. It's like,
And then when you get there, what happens? I hit a slick spot.
and they're all doing 35, 40 when they
Yeah.
Yes, just like they only had two. Just like, how many drinks did you have? 2.
35 or 40.
Yeah.
Always the same.
How much do you have drink? Oh,
Yeah,
couple.
2. A couple.
Yeah.
Always 2.
Yeah.
I'm almost home.
Yeah. See, this is great. I can use this all over the place. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
But it's been busy, you know, with everything that's been going on and whatnot. We did have another possible rescue the other night, Saturday night. 66-year-old guy went skiing and left 7 o'clock in the morning. He's gonna be supposed to be home at 2. 10:30, his wife finally calls in, says, "Hey, he never came home." He usually goes with a buddy, and his buddy didn't go, and
Hmm.
talked to the buddy, and well, we always ski on the, you know, out of the limit zone on the backside. so
Oh
you
my
can
gosh, you're
fade there.
hearing this.
Well, this is, by the time we get it, you know, from Shoshone, it's,
Dark.
it's 12:30 at night,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, Shoshone's been out on 3 rescues, Kootenai County's been out on 3, they don't have anybody to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get hardly anybody here. It's like, all right, well, let's get our sleds, and it's not gonna be fun back in there, you know, this late at night, and it's snowing so hard, couldn't get the helicopter to fly. And I'm thinking, if we don't, you know, I mean, you guys pass away, we won't find him till spring, because it'll be 2 more feet. His vehicle had 14 inches of snow on it.
Wow.
Oh, he was still,
Just that day.
just up at
Just
the park at the ski area?
Oh my gosh.
And so we were getting things ready to head back up in there. An ISP guy came over the top and was coming down by the rest area at 12:30, 1 at night. Here's this guy walking up the interstate. It's like, go buy a lottery ticket.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was glad to hear that.
Yeah, because you guys would have had a heck of a time yourself getting stuck every 10 feet.
Oh, yeah, and that
That kind of powder.
back in there, yeah, would have been a bad deal. But how is that going as far as getting any tax funds out of any of that? Because that backside's on the, you know, the ski areas on us. Did that really pan out?
What's that about?
So the boundary line,
Yeah.
we finally got it established that Idaho's been, the boundary line's wrong, incorrect.
Yes, I
So
did read about that.
Senator
Yeah.
Daines and the other congressmen agreed to push it forward, and they got the United States Geological or whoever to concede that is. So Tim and I were supposed to go have a meeting with Shoshone County Commissioners, advise them that this is gonna affect their side of the,
Mhm.
and then, yeah, we're supposed to start receiving a little bit more. I don't think we'd get a whole lot in tax revenue currently with the whatever buildings on it, but the improvements will make a market difference for us in the future,
Yeah,
but,
because there's a whole lift system back there on us now.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think what, I may be wrong, but I thought we were only getting like $600 a year out of it.
Yeah, that's
In the
the old,
past.
that's the little building that was on there, was somewhere around $350 or $600
Yeah.
in the parking lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, the new things haven't been assessed, I don't think.
Yeah, 'cause that-
But you know, now they do them every 2 years. They're supposed to do assessments at the state.
It seems like every year we get a call on that backside, skiers,
Mm-hmm.
avalanches.
Well, that's good to know. I'll use that story when I'm
That's
talking to them,
perfect,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need all the revenue we can get when we have to deal with the problems.
Yeah, I mean, last year was the 2 skiers and the avalanche, got the compound
Mhm.
fracture, and, you know, it's, every year,
Mm-hmm.
snowmobilers back there or whatever.
and we never found that couple. Nobody's ever heard. We haven't gotten any leads.
No.
Wow, I thought for sure somebody would say they've seen them somewhere, or even if it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it, and they're probably really up there. Oh, nuts.
And Ronnie's not here, Mike, but do you have any insight or news on how it's going with the jail and the
So I walked
jailer?
through there yesterday, and Joel picked up another thing of paint, and they mixed it up, and nobody could tell at the time they painted, and it was the wrong paint, and it won't blend in, and so we got some paint issues back there. The guy from Cullen Lumber's supposed to come over today and walk through and see what he thinks we can do to fix the problem without having to repaint that whole
Mhm.
pod there. Yeah, I don't know how they got it mixed up and got the wrong paint, but yeah, it's
Hmm.
bad. So, they got one of the cells done completely, and floor and everything. Most of the other day rooms and stuff are done, except that one big one they had to mess up on, so. I was hoping to have it done by right now,
Mhm.
but with none of the people showing up from Dale's, sentencing there,
Mhm.
none of those guys really panned out.
Mhm.
They show up for 40 minutes and then, they gotta go,
Oh,
so. But we've picked up a couple guys, they just hired Nolan Weber, and, so he's been back there hammering away on it too.
as a detention officer?
As a-
Great, good.
Yeah,
Good.
so.
I guess I don't know, yeah.
How about Mullen,
Montreal Bank.
Wells Fargo?
Wells
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I never go there. I forgot about that place.
So he started, sounds like, Ronnie interviewed some people on Tuesday, I believe.
Tuesday,
Mhm.
yeah, I think was a detention officer and a dispatch on Tuesday.
How many slots left to fill?
I think we've got all the dispatchers
Great.
hired.
Wow, I didn't know that. Good news.
So we have, how many left to hire in detention? There's 3 vacancies,
2 or 3.
but dispatch is taken care of now.
Yep.
That's good. That's a good step.
Yep. So that's plugging along and trying to get,
I think we only have
Ronnie's-
2 detention left, don't we? Well, if we've got, Dave Rich, Lipinski, Nolan, and then, did they hire the one on Tuesday?
That might be up. So maybe there's only 2.
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe there's 2.
Who's the judge?
Ronnie Phillips. So like Ronnie's scheduled to go to the academy in April. Every one of them is full. So there are issues.
But because she was the jail administrator, they bumped her to the head of the class, or
The head of the
the head of the
waiting
list.
Oh, great. Good.
But it's the same issue with the dispatch academy too. They're all full. We got to get extensions and that sort of thing. I mean, that story's always going to be the same.
Well, at least that's not our problem. I mean, yeah.
Do you think they'll bump up a dispatcher or two? If, like we said, I could write a letter saying, we're the place that had our jail closed down and we really, would it help at all, do you think?
It's up to Perry Johnson,
Okay.
and I know Perry very well.
Do you have anything on them?
But
Okay, all right. Just feel free to blackmail.
Yeah, we're good there. But also,
Extortion is a good
so also
thing.
Ellen too, like, since it's not our problem, what they do is if they can't accommodate, then they just kind of grant extensions,
Yeah.
there's,
Right.
so they're kind of like saying, they
Right,
can
you
keep
don't have to get it done
working.
in a year
Right,
because you couldn't get in, but it would be nice if, because of the situation we've been in for a few months, they would
And if they get enough people on those waiting lists, they usually have another academy just
Okay.
for those people with extension.
Oh, good, okay.
It's not open to anybody else.
Mhm. Good, okay.
They're pretty good on that.
How long
And how-
is the dispatch?
I think it's only 2 weeks.
It's mainly just computer stuff
Yeah.
and criminal justice information, privacy stuff. But the jailer one is more,
Yeah, it's
The
4 or 5
weeks.
weeks. I think.
yeah, they do a little
All
bit
in,
of.
all in Bozeman still, or?
No, it's all in Helena.
Oh, okay.
Academy out there.
They left Bozeman many moons ago.
Anyway,
Yes,
Has it been? Really?
yes. Yeah, the
they
academy
burned
hasn't been there in
them trailer
years.
houses down.
Yeah.
But,
I was one of the last few academies in the trailer house, 88, 89.
How much, I pay attention to.
I was gonna say, boy, Dave is old.
So how much longer do you think it'll be?
Black holes
before
aren't
we
mine.
know?
It's just getting these people, I mean, train them. I don't want
That's what, and I remember that the group said, even Lance said that we don't want to just put a warm body in there.
No.
I mean, we want to make sure that when we open the jail, that we've got qualified people, or
Yeah.
people that have had some training, so.
Yeah, because we'll end up in the same position.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it'd be
so-
nice if we had enough qualified that they could maybe just take a couple of local ones, like the Highway Patrol has 4 felony, these drug guys. And
Yeah.
so the Highway Patrol's paying Sanders County when
Mhm.
Mineral County could be getting, and they're
Yeah.
$100,000 warrants, so they're good long-term stay
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
that the state would be paying us.
And I think that once, we get it open, I mean,
Yeah.
just
Wow.
start out with the few that we need, or we
Yeah.
can have, and,
Handful, yeah.
yeah, handful, and go from
And
there.
next week, we'll have that new fingerprint machine.
Oh, good.
So,
So I can finally become a sub.
yeah, exactly.
You haven't got your fingerprints back yet. And I tried.
Yeah, well, the state's been kind of dragging their feet there,
Mm-hmm.
but they sent out a thing saying next week's the big day, so it's like, we'll have training on it and everything. But we'll get everybody fired up as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Other than that, just, how luck is got car issues. I've got Matt looking at, with Spalding's, maybe pick up a used motor.
Mm.
One of them lost an inner fender well on one of the cars a couple years ago, and it sucked water up into the airbox.
Oh,
And the water collapsed the filter. Well, that was when Steve was doing our stuff. Didn't catch it. It
Mhm.
sucked in a bunch of dirt,
oh.
and now it's burning 2 quarts of oil.
Mm-hmm. That's a Charger.
Yeah. So see how much a new motor,
Mhm.
not a new motor, but a used motor.
So what's we gonna do with the one sitting out here, or what's going on with this one?
Well, that one he's gonna fix on that too. It's just trying to keep up on what we're driving right now. Make sure that they're in top shape, and then he's working on the old car one.
Tommy's car?
Tom's car.
That was like a newer one.
Yeah.
What
He had
happened?
hit a rock or something and done some front end damage to it. And so-
Out hunting on the back roads?
I don't know. But he.
I'm just saying that because we got a couple complaints that there was a cop car on this old abandoned Forest Service road up in the mountains.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. The one above Forest Grove?
Go between Tarkio
Oh,
and
really?
Ronnie's house. But he left before we could talk to him about it.
Oh.
But anyway, that's a pretty primitive road, so yeah, it made me think of that one.
So he's trying to fix that, so that's a good viable
Mhm.
vehicle. And then he's gonna work on that Durango next. It's got some major
Mm.
missing issues. But we need to have a backup four-wheel drive in case.
Yeah, there's a
some
corner
stuff-
call or whatever.
yeah, whatever, some search and rescue thing or something. But, and then we'll work on that one next.
Mhm.
But he's confident he can swap motors right
Mhm.
there and do the whole bit for cheap. So, and he thinks he can get a pretty good deal on it. So I haven't heard back from him, but
Mhm.
I'm hoping we can't afford to go buy another rig, so gonna make do with what we have.
And how are the tires for the winter? How are you guys doing with the tires?
So. Just put tires on mine and AJ's. Mike is still good.
Good.
We swapped the tires off of Tom's old car and put them on Travis's to save money. Because right now he's working on it, might as well just swap the tires out. Those are fairly new tires, he just got them. So everybody should be in pretty good shape right now.
Good.
So I'm hoping to scrimp through till next year. You know.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody met Bri.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll have Ronnie bring the new people around.
Oh, good.
When she's back. But
Oh, is she on
nice to-
vacation?
I'm not sure if she's sick today or
Oh.
I think she may be up in dispatch.
Oh.
'Cause one of the newer dispatch ladies has got that crap that's going around.
Oh,
Yeah, Candace has been out for a few days too.
Yeah, so I think she's up there trying to cover stuff, but, still gotta get her time where she can go into Missoula and walk along there with those guys for a
Yeah.
couple of days. But it's tough trying to get people trained up so you can do the other things, you know, it's just, you do one thing and it bites you something else if you do it, so. Good, it's yours now, I'm tired out.
his phone they didn't call back in time.
Yeah.
Pertney, you're done now? Just checking.
At the library, the two biggest things we're doing, right now, we're working on a summer reading program, which we have to work on for months before we do. We have about 5 components to it. And also, with no county money, by the way, all patron donations, we're changing our website to, we just bought some new software so that Florence and I will be able to make a lot of the changes. We have constant changes. And then Glenda will just do the big stuff that we can't do. You know, so we're getting that fixed up. It's not up live yet.
Mhm.
You know, we're working on it. Big thing.
How many kids participate in the summer reading program usually?
About 75, 80.
Oh, good.
kids,
Good.
you know, together. We have all different things. Part of it, by the way, is for adults now.
Oh,
We've set up last year, 2 years now, we've had an adult component, and I'll have it again this year. We tried to do it during the day, people complained. We did it at night, they complained. We did it on Saturdays. So I'm doing it Thursdays when the library's open, because this, you can't satisfy people.
No.
And they stopped coming, so
yeah.
we're still trying.
Is there any kind of literacy program there?
No, there isn't anybody.
Oh, okay. Because we just had a gentleman in court this morning who couldn't read. So the judge reads him the plea agreement, and his attorney's there with him too. And I thought, oh, I wonder if there's something that I could make as part of his sentence. Instead of a fine, I want you to go to
Yeah.
this many weeks of literacy or something.
Yeah, we have very few people there, so we can't do it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
haven't heard anybody volunteering for something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I just
It's
thought
a
I'd
good
just
thing
check.
to do.
It
You
just
know,
made me think of it as you were talking, because I thought, oh, this young man, he needs to know how to read.
Yeah, I was offering community service, I said, well, you can go work at the library, well,
Yeah, can't read.
Yes, it's hard when they can't read
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
library.
Yeah. And it's just amazing. I mean, there are people out there who can't read, and I just forget. I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come into the library, take out DVDs.
Mhm.
They can't read.
Yeah.
We have to read the titles to them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
So you don't want to try to explain the Dewey Decimal System to them.
you can't, because they just can't understand.
I can't understand.
I mean, we break it down in all these little pieces, and it's so simple, you know, but even just to file things, you know, they,
Be hard.
no, we can't have volunteers or community service people doing any filing stuff. It's mostly just cleaning,
Mhm.
which we need help with.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay.
Mm.
Have a seat, Jim.
Never does.
Cody Tim there.
He's afraid to affect us.
Mhm. Isn't that nice of him?
So what's new at the Napa store? All right, well, if you're not going to have a pulled pork sandwich, then You're hurting our feelings.
I don't understand that. It just doesn't make sense at all. So what if you just ate? Huh? Okay, Tim, let's hear what's going on in the world of planetation.
Planetation.
Sanitation.
That's what I want to talk about.
Really?
Sheriff Boone brought up, and you were gone, but he was talking about the ski area and our boundary line thing, because they've been getting more calls in the St. Regis Basin and on the backside where that new lift is, and he was just curious about the taxes and the line affecting any of the improvements over there. And are we still needing a powwow with Kootenai County over there, or Shoshone County, I mean?
Yeah. There's going to be a meeting. I've tied down the date with the backside, are you talking about the stuff that's it's in Montana right now?
Yeah.
It's in Montana right now, it's being taxed. That won't change. We're getting minimal taxes from that tower and that lower shed and stuff. But I don't know what they're trying to pick up is the rental shop and that new construction.
Does that include the lift? That lift over there?
Yeah, there's a lift
Yeah.
on that back
Okay.
side.
But what the tax is sitting on the ground, is tangible on the ground.
Okay, so that doesn't count, huh?
Well, yeah, no,
Okay.
it's what the lift connects to, but
Right.
that's how they assess is some value.
Right.
And then Tim, my highway patrol friends told me that there was a French fry, chicken fry out at mile
I
marker.
want to talk about.
No. He came up and asked me for a search warrant for a chicken fry or something. I was like, seriously?
I am super ticked because our illustrious county attorney would not give me a search warrant to look through melons, because I'm sure that he's selling roasty, toasty chicken.
Rotisserie style?
Mm-hmm.
Patties, breaded patties. McDonald's is shorted 40,000 pounds of French fries, so.
Oh, they had McDonald's French fries on there.
Sent them back to the court where they were.
And, so nothing else new then?
Yeah, subdivision in Alberton, which all new people in there, so it's like.
No.
Subdivision in Superior here.
Which subdivision in Alberton are you talking about?
Lausch.
Oh, on the hillside towards the
So
interstate?
I home to roost because I worked on it, when I worked for the DEQ and had to do all of this stuff, and it's like, I don't forget.
Tim, sometimes I'm glad he doesn't have a badge and a gun, geez.
He doesn't need one.
Where's one in Superior?
But
What's the Superior one?
Pine and 4th Street, second lot in,
Being chopped in half?
huh?
It's being chopped in half?
Kevin Bates owns 2 houses stacked on a lot, and it's nothing really, but super pain because it looks like utilities probably run right under the old garage. So HRC's had a pre-construction meeting over here for the 3 units, I guess, so. That's funny. I was not here, 'cause I was over there, and then my car quit.
Oh, your car quit. I thought maybe you went in the snowbank and T-Bone had to pull you out.
Either way, snowbank sounds better than car quit.
Oh, okay. And I hear your secretary's been down with that crud running around Superior, that flu stuff, huh?
I guess, I don't, she, hope we don't see her obituary next week in the paper.
What? She got sick, huh?
She sounds not good at all.
Oh.
I hope she stays home tomorrow. Take a full week off.
How about you? You don't sound much better.
That's truck wreck stuff, I think. Stand out there till 2 in the morning, debating which way the chicken patties are gonna go.
A little bit of smoke inhalation, if you will, huh?
That was unique Roma with plastic and cardboard and
Mm.
chicken tenderies.
Mhm.
Oh.
I just wanna know, how can you be a truck driver and drive down the interstate for as many miles as that thing burned?
With your thing
To
on
melt the
fire.
whole side
Yeah.
of that trailer and buckle it in. I mean, that thing had to be on fire since it left Missoula.
Mhm.
To melt it down, and he gets the slow way and notices like, whoa, maybe I should leave that sitting there.
Well, that's about how long it takes for an audio book to run out and you have to flip.
An audio book.
He doesn't do audiobook, he does Russian, and he's speaking no English. Ivan.
You Russian or Ukrainian? 'Cause they make
Hey,
it-
hey, hey, careful now. Ukrainians don't like Russians.
I know they don't. That's why you gotta make sure. Don't call him a Russian if he's Ukrainian.
Oh, okay.
Only word he knew was Ivan.
That doesn't tell us much. Eastern Bloc.
So, but it's gonna be interesting to see who has to pay for that, because once he got hooks from the load, it's no man's land then, so. Seven wrecking outfits turned it down, so we really got stopped doing it.
Yeah, because they don't want to do it for a Russian that's not insured.
That might be something for future discussions,
Mhm.
that I'm contemplating and wondering, their research, could the county carry an insurance policy that if somebody just vacated everything and didn't pay, could the county turn it into a insurance claims adjuster or something and just try
Well, don't you think the state of Montana, being that that's their interstate and their maintenance and right of way and on a federal highway, that they be the one to worry about that, not the county?
So what if they
I
pull
don't
off
see
the
them
interstate
doing
down to the
anything
county
for-
right away?
For the wrecking companies, I wouldn't know why.
I'm just, say that again, Tim?
Why would MDT do anything for the wrecking?
Because if no record company picks it up, it's their problem. Their highway is blocked or what have you. And their immediate concern is to get the road cleared open and passable. So they've got more of a motivation to do that than we would.
So, tell me, I thought you said before that the record couldn't turn down a call out.
Well, they're not supposed to if they want to stay in good
Not
graces.
supposed to, or they can't?
Well, they get off they could be thrown off of the rotation list if they're not going to take the call. And the rotation list is how you get the calls.
Yeah, so if 7 of them refuse to take that call,
I know that's what,
There's a demand.
I don't know what they're doing with that anymore, but if it was me, I would probably say, you know, you guys need to do it, and if not, you're gonna be off the list, and you might, you know, you can't always go, you know, oh, is it an insured guy driving a Ferrari? I'll take it. Is it an old Volkswagen with a hippie driving it? I'm not going out there. I mean, you can't pick and choose. You gotta go when you're called, and sometimes you get a lucrative job, and sometimes you don't. And some of the companies would do that. They go, that wasn't really a truck wreck. He was just stuck in the snow. Well, it took a truck wrecker to reel him out of there. You couldn't do it with a little Carl's towing wrecker. I mean, you guys have to take the good with the bad, you know. Because they all want the big Swift truck on its side with doubles strewn everywhere, and it takes them 3 days to clean it up, and it's a $22,000 bill, you know. That's what they want. They don't want to just reel the guy out of the ditch and then get $250. But anyway,
puddle going on.
that's all you got? Okay, well, our best wishes to Candace.
Except for my droid dying, so if you wanna call me, I can hear it ring, but I can't talk to you.
Okay. Well, Ms. Brown, while you were out, you missed the judge and the county attorney, so I'm sure that yours sort of matches with their felonies and busyness. And, oh, we learned that your judge, Dusty Deshaw, she thinks she rubs him the wrong way.
See, I don't think so. But, so, no, I just worked on a search warrant with the trooper, and he obviously writes a very good application and search warrant because very little has to be changed.
Mhm.
The judge doesn't usually have a problem with it. And, other than he forgot to change some dates, but,
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were opening the car, that's why everybody went
Oh,
over.
kind of like Christmas, gonna open up the Christmas car.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, if you cook, you use oregano, don't you?
They're very Italian.
No, they're very Italian. Yeah. Guido and Luigi with two big baseball bats. Okay. So nothing else much, huh?
No. New year, changing dates. It's like a circus. But we're flexible. What can I tell you? We're just flexible. My hearing today in Missoula got vacated and changed to a different day, and I don't know. This is why I write in pencil on my calendar.
So, and then in district court, it's Wednesdays that are district court day, but then sometimes there's trials on Mondays, or how does it work?
I have one judge who does Monday court,
Okay.
and then 3 of them that do Wednesday court.
Okay.
Unless, of course, something's going on, like in January, I have 2 Monday courts.
Mhm. Okay.
I told you, we're very flexible.
Okay. So, these are appearances that a trial is a totally different animal in case it's going to be 3 days long, and they're not going to say every Monday come to trial.
No.
Okay. I didn't know if they had appearances on Wednesdays and trials on Mondays or whatever.
No, it's whenever we can get the schedule and the judge
Mhm.
all together.
Okay.
So I think we have probably 5 scheduled right now. But we'll see when it gets close.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I noticed our health department lady has a little bug in her throat too.
I had the crud that was bad.
Mhm.
Sounded terrible. Just a little bronchitis, a little sinus infection. It's pretty nasty. I blame my kid and all of his cruddy cousins. But that's
Can you
okay.
close the school down for?
I would love to. I was really glad actually last week was Christmas break because we have just had so much crud in the school. We'll just start with them. We've been working on really trying to eliminate disease in the schools. We have all the little things and the big things. So flu is there, hand, foot, mouth, scabies, ringworm, impetigo, you name it, it's there. It's
Impetigo,
everywhere.
wow, I
So
haven't-
Impetigo.
we've been
I'm glad as a kid.
yeah. So we've been working on that a lot. We send letters home to families and just trying to prevent more illness in the schools. It's hard to do though. And then Barb is currently working with in the schools for the high school kids who don't take PE. She's trying to work with, get collaboration between outside entities such as Mary, who does healthy relationship stuff, to give these kids health education in a variety of things, including.
So a kid now can, when I was in school, you had to be
Yeah,
PE.
physical education.
I guess
was
so. I guess sometimes they don't have to do PE. I don't really know how that works.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the only thing I got an A in. That and lunch.
Yeah, that was a.
No, it was. I'm not kidding. It's totally true.
Yep. And
Now
then
they chalk it up to bullying
um,
if they don't feel comfortable doing the sport or the activity or
Oh,
running.
then they say
get
no,
to
so they
sit-
don't get,
they sit
okay.
out.
Oh.
do you need to leave? Do you want to go?
I do have a 2:30.
Oh.
You want to go cart?
I could.
Did you want to talk about
Yeah, give
weeds?
us a quick.
Yeah, weeds are growing great. Economic development wise, we just got word that the
Oh, yeah, I got my-
CDBG application got turned down. We have not heard from
I showed the letter to Lori.
Okay.
Darn.
Exactly as to why or how they thought somehow that was not an economic benefit to Mineral County. I thought their explanation was rather lacking in any kind of detail. So I think Emily's going to talk to Kevin a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that perhaps through the commissioners, we write a letter and state it a little more strongly as to, if you're going to deny this application, we'd like to know some more specifics as to exactly why and whatnot. The revolving loan fund, I think we've had more payoffs on that.
Great.
you know, we had several in last year, but then the others are making regular payoffs on that, so that's money coming back in. That's good. Other things, we have some extension programs that are coming up that we'll be diving more into in the new year. We're doing a level 2 Master Gardener later in the spring. We'll have pesticide safety education going on later in the spring. One thing that we did talk with Ken Quit from the, with the Fair Board. We had an attempted break-in over at the Fair Building, 4-H building. Somebody tried to pry open the door on that building. They don't really know what they were doing because they were prying at the bottom, not up where the weak lock is, but they pried it open about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Donnie Warnken bent it back into shape, and he was kind of looking at it and sizing up the dimensions of that door and what a replacement frame and casing for that would potentially be, and see if we can't maybe get that replaced. That door is in need of some TLC / replacement. So Ken's going to talk to the Fair Board, talk to Rob and some of the other Fair Board members, and we'll probably have a meeting later in June or later in January, talk about that and see if we can't figure out some way to creatively get a new door on that. Standard mischief around town. We had the plugs on our Christmas lights at the library cut off.
Oh.
Somebody just came and cut off the end of the extension cord and then the other end of the lights.
Oh,
Didn't
man.
tear them down or anything, just, and it's had to use like, dikes or something, 'cause it's nice, clean snip. It's not a,
Look for a green man. He goes by Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
Little funny
Right on
looking,
that.
got a little bit of a belly.
plant
Green.
a new inspection camera and that inside pillow there.
Yeah, dang.
So, little
Such
things
a
like that,
shame.
and like I said, it was over the Christmas holiday that the 4-H building was attempted to break into, so I don't know, it's just kind of, Ken was gonna go back over there and check the other buildings, see if anybody had tried forced entry on any of the others.
What a
Just
shame.
weird little things like that, so. But other than that, we had a water leak over at the, outside water leak over at the library, and we managed to get that fixed yesterday. One of the plumbers crawled underneath the building and underneath the wing of the library and got that. There was fortunately a shut-off valve on that, so
Yeah, it was
that
good.
was rather fortuitous. Joel was definitely not in any shape to crawl into that, so he sounds worse than
Oh, he's sick.
anybody else, so. And other than that, things are great, so
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
dash
thanks,
here.
Dave.
All right,
All right.
thank you. Thanks,
Hi,
Jen.
Dave.
See y'all later.
Oh, yeah, we saw your, you were busy, but your other health department lady showed up for the lunch.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great. I'm glad
Your
they
other
come.
department,
What,
Yeah,
what,
so
what I
thank you
say?
for feeding them.
health department lady.
Ladies! What? Oh, I'm always talking wrong. I'm saying jailers instead of detention officers. Now I'm saying ladies instead of,
I thought he said department, or health department lady. Names.
name. Okay, Laura Acker and Ashley
Okay, oh,
and,
good, because I couldn't remember. Okay.
and Janet Smith.
Yeah, I'm happy to report that our communicable disease cases were down this month, which was really lovely. We only had 1 bat, no dogs, and then 1 Campylobacter, and then 4 influenza. So the flu finally came to Mineral County.
4.
We'd been waiting and wondering, and people had been saying left and right, oh, I tested positive for the flu, but that's a mandatory reportable disease, and we never got any positive cases until December 25th. So, since that time, we now have an outbreak in the hospital, in the long-term care facility. They're putting in pretty strict precautions, asking people to not come, and if you do come, you have to glove up and mask up, and just trying to prevent the spread. We have both patients and staff members that are infected. So we've been doing a lot of messaging, and really my main goal has been to get everybody on the same page, because I'm not sure if any of you heard, but out on the media they were saying that this year's flu shot is only 10% effective.
That's what
Is this ringing
Tim
a
just
bell?
told me today.
So unfortunately, that's true in Australia. So Australia put out a report on their most recent flu season that
Oh,
their
I wish
flu
Tim was here.
vaccine was only effective, 10% effective for the influenza A H3N2. So it's very specific. And in the United States, we don't have any vaccine effectiveness data until spring, so it's way too early for us to really know. Flu really starts up in October and then ramps up in December with the holidays because everybody hangs out together and spreads it. And so we're just really getting into our flu season right now. So we don't know. So my main message has been to get all the providers on the same page, all of our community agencies, just saying we don't know about our flu shot. What we do know is that it's still your best chance of prevention. It's your best chance of preventing the disease. If you do get the shot and you end up getting sick, it prevents severe illness, which is like pneumonia, hospitalization, death.
good.
So it's still a good idea to get it because our bodies build up a lot of antibodies against the flu virus. And there's influenza A's, there's influenza B's, and then there's all these H and N combinations. It's quite impressive if you get on the CDC site and start looking into it. So the media annoyed me when they put that out there because it created a hype and a panic. And once flu pops up, then everybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
So I would really just encourage everybody to have them call us. Myself or Barb are happy to talk to anybody. We are doing press releases with the hospital and just getting our messages out there. Still get your flu shot if you haven't yet this year. And then, of course, there's all of the standard wash your hands, stay home if you're sick, et cetera, et cetera. And if you do think that you have influenza, it's best to go to the doctor right away, or at least call and let them know that you're having flu symptoms, because they can put you on an antiviral, which is most effective if they start it within the first 48 hours of symptoms. And so that will hopefully decrease the severity of your illness and decrease it by a day or two. So the flu has really been a pain in the rear end, but it's here and it is spreading. And people who have been immunized are getting the flu. Right, we sent off 4 specimens to the state of Montana to find out which flu strains we have exactly circulating right now in Mineral County, so we should know that by the end of the week. But predominantly it is the H3N2 across the state that Australia is talking about. And then we've also had some influenza B's, which is kind of weird because that usually pops up in spring, not necessarily December. So, but it's a lot of information. Happy to answer any questions or concerns. Have Tim call me. I can even send him an email.
Yes, oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'm here to dispel the rumor that
and
you're.
that's what's happening. You know, the hospital staff
just
sent
told
out
me
an
this
email
morning.
to the staff saying it's not effective, and then we had to correct everything. So it's just messaging, and this is what happens with illnesses.
So how's the symptoms different between a flu and a cold?
Usually a flu comes fast. The flu or a cold kind of is gradual. There's actually a really great flu versus cold poster that I might just email to Casey and then she can email out.
That would be
because
great.
Oh, yeah.
And we can post it all over the place because it goes through each symptom and then has them compared against one another so you can see the differences. Flu typically has a fever, a headache, body aches, chills. Cold very, very rarely has that. Most of the time, flu is upper respiratory, but so is cold. People will always say, oh, I got the stomach flu, but some people do get gastrointestinal symptoms, but most people don't. And the flu is not usually a huge deal for most healthy people, but for anybody who has any kind of immune system issue, your young kids, your older folks, it can really be dangerous. So get immunized and protect yourself, and if you're sick, stay at home. But there are lots of creds floating around. I mean, I didn't have the flu, but it was terrible. So, I don't know. Take care of yourselves, please. Don't come to us for a flu shot if you still want one, because we still don't have any. We're still working with our repair person to get our fridge fixed. Ashley's called him 8 times, and he's waiting for this and waiting for that, and the warranty people are being very difficult, so we still don't have that figured out, but we did get our information submitted to Casey for our insurance claim. We figured out that we had just over $6,500 in vaccines that the county had paid for that were wasted. So once we hear back from insurance, then we will, if there's anything left over, excuse me, we'll pursue the vaccine manufacturers to help recoup some of those costs. We really need to get vaccines back up and running though, so we've been assessing all of our inventory and our current funds to see and prioritizing what we need to order with whatever money we have left. So,
And who's being kind of difficult?
our repair person.
Okay, the repair person.
Yeah. We bought the fridge and
work.
Mhm.
And how about the warranty company? Are they Do you know if
They're
there's
not
some?
being that cooperative either.
Yeah.
They won't give us any information. They say go to him.
Okay.
And he first had to apply, and then he had to order a part. He's still waiting. so-
Will you ask Ashley just to email me? Because I mean, I don't think it'll hurt if I call or send an email or a letter
Sure.
just saying, I've encouraged the health department to let me know
Yeah.
that there are some concerns, and boy, I sure would hate to see this end up in litigation.
Yeah, she's gonna call again today. So
Okay, let me
I'll
know
you
what
how that
happens,
goes,
because,
hopefully.
that's the best part about,
Mhm.
there's a lot of bad things about being an attorney, but that stuff's the nice
Yeah,
part where you can
gets
try to.
attention.
Yeah, just, knock it off.
Yeah, and we've been getting calls, not too many for the flu shot, but, baby shots, and we really are the only childhood immunization.
Right, I mean, this is not, that my
provider.
roast just went bad because my fridge is broken down. This is very important.
Yeah, TB
So,
tests and all
mhm.
that stuff. And with the vaccines that we've given, starting this fiscal year, we've already gotten back $11,000 in reimbursement, and we still have 4,000 to 8,000 out there. So we really can get more money if we can give more shots. So really it all makes sense. But really, I just want people to get immunized so that way they don't get diseases. So, anyways. In Barb's world, in the tobacco, I also assessed all the daycares in Mineral County for their immunization compliance, because the Montana has laws about daycare kiddos. So we found a few that weren't compliant, so we're trying to figure out ways to support the daycare providers, like maybe sending them quarterly reminders to look at the records. Immunizations are very complicated though, so we're probably going to offer our assistance in looking at those records on a quarterly basis, or when a new kid enrolls, just to make sure that they're up to date. I don't think that we are liable for that, but if you had a disease come into a daycare and all the kids were supposed to be immunized and then some weren't, and then it infected other kids, like babies who weren't old enough to get a certain vaccine, I could see it being a problem. So we're gonna tighten that up. Barb is working with the schools and Western Montana Mental Health to bring in a really awesome prevention speaker in the spring on tobacco and drugs and alcohol. And, this is in the MTOP world, Montana Tobacco Prevention Program. And then she's also working with the health officer and planning to come to the Board of Health, again, focusing on the e-cigarettes, just because our youth are using a lot more. Our rates are much higher than state and national data.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a problem. So they're thinking maybe some ordinances or something, I don't really know, but that'll be coming up. Our Parents as Teachers program, we have increased our enrollments. We're at 31 out of 40, we still are enrolling. We've done group connections. We did 2 in December, 1 in St. Regis and 1 in Alberton, and between the 2 of those, we had almost 50 people attending, which was really great. And in Alberton, they brought Frenchtown Fire in again, and they worked on life-saving skills for when kids choke. And so that's been great. We have 2 coming up in January, 1 here in Superior on the 16th, and then in Alberton on the 26th. And everybody is now qualified as certified lactation counselors. We were all trained, but since the last meeting, we're now all qualified. So if anybody needs support in that area, go ahead and give us a call. Our Best Beginnings grant was renewed, which is great news. We used some of the spend down from last year's money to purchase some car seats because we didn't have any and we lost that funding when the Buckle Up program went. And so we bought some car seats that Ashley and Janet, who are our car seat installation technicians, can use now to give to families in case they check car seats and they're found to be inadequate. And then for our Healthy Communities Coalition, we're really going to try to start working on our CHIP goals, our community health improvement plan goals. But what we're finding is a lot of the membership is the leadership in agencies. Like me, I'll use myself for an example. If I can come, I almost can't commit to a big project. And so some of our goals centered around our community health assessment and community health improvement plan aren't able to move forward because we just don't have the manpower right now to make it happen. So we're going to try to look at maybe someone like me, sending someone in my department who might have some more time who can dedicate toward moving some of those forward because it is so important and we're pretty excited about that. And then my interview fell through, so I am still looking for a nurse, and I really need somebody who is bachelor prepared because so many of my programs require a bachelor prepared person to manage them. So I've had an application or 2, but they're not qualified, unfortunately. So I still have my call out there.
Oh,
I've advertised on Indeed. If anybody has any other ideas, I haven't had a single hit. And I've heard that that's the place to go. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. But yeah, any questions, let me know. Barb and I want to talk, and we'd love to talk to you directly as to calm the frenzy and give you correct information.
Right, Tim.
very good. Long list of info.
I think I'll heck on that.
All right. Mary?
Well, starting January 2nd, the state started off doing 3% increase on all state fees for motor vehicle. County doesn't get any, but everything that has which is a state fee went up 3%, which is kind of crazy.
And the
Some
county
of
doesn't get anything.
all the work. And we reverted back to the 2 decal system again.
really?
With the different colored
Oh, I did.
year with the month decal again.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of, we're not using the little POS printers that we have that printed out the decals on them. Now we have rolls again of decals.
P.O.
Yeah,
Oh.
well.
I wonder if the state really called them that.
They are.
POS
They're-
printer
they're
sounds
point of
Oh,
sale
I thought it was
printer,
your
but
acronym.
I know. I call them that too because they always were. They were awful. So that's been we've tried. They said that they let people know. They haven't. I don't know how many of us knew that they were going to go up 3%. A lot of people don't. Customers are kind of upset, but is what it is if you want to renew your vehicle. They just put into effect the luxury tax if your vehicle's $100,000 and over. $875 gets popped right onto the registration.
Oh, I have to pay that?
Yeah, yeah. We had a Ferrari
Oh, darn it.
on Tuesday, and it was expensive enough that it had to pay that
Your Subarus?
$875.
It's worth
It's
$101,000.
$101,000
Well, I've
Subaru.
got all this marijuana in the back now.
The motorhome, same thing. If it's over 300,000, then they have a big. I think it's about the same, about $800 just right off, and that will hopefully cut down on all the people that pay
Yes.
for LLCs that don't live here, but
Yeah.
they get an LLC and then they can license
Register
their
the car, yeah.
big motorhomes.
How much of that 8-something does the county get?
Not a
Nothing.
dime.
Okay. Okay, I was hoping maybe if they're, just even a percentage.
Well, and the whole idea is that now Department of Justice wants to be able to fund themselves, so they're raising all these fees so that they don't need any of the general
General
fund
fund.
money.
Ah,
But they
okay.
moved from Deer Lodge to Helena because it
to
would
save
be
money.
better, yep, and they'd all be there, and now they're outsourcing some of their
I heard that,
jobs.
but I didn't know if that was true.
Scanning and-
Yep.
And we offered on a county level to do that scanning, but they said that we weren't capable of scanning documents in the manner that needs to be done. So there's that. It's kind of, it's upsetting that they'll do that and then spend more money when they didn't have to before.
Right, to outsource, darn.
In my world that I can think of, next month for NACO, there's training and billings, and I'll get a day and a half of training, and with House Bill 18 for the lien, tax liens, we'll go over that and spending a couple days learning on that again, which is good, because it's really complicated and it's all changed, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Is it true we're going to lose the assessor next year in
Yes,
the fall?
yes, I think October.
I think that's what it was, yeah. How's
But
that?
we're trying to figure out, because all of those records, right now, what Department of Revenue was proposing is all those records go. And we're thinking that we would like to be able to keep those records within Mineral County and not send them to Missoula or Vallet County, depending on where that office relocates to. So, I know that Tim was working maybe with Lois with that, because they were gonna start shredding documents, and it's like, wow. I would rather you didn't and just bring them. At least we could figure out somewhere to put them. All the old record cards and stuff, maybe we don't need them, but if I did, it'd certainly be nice to have them and not have them just walk away. And then
Polly, that is the assessor, she's gonna work from her home going forward from there. So she'll still be here in Mineral County, but they won't be in a physical office. She'll be working out of her house. And then, like I said, I don't know if then that information will come out of Missoula County or Valley. I don't know how much of that then they'll throw on the treasurer for, you know, the assessments each year for tax purposes. What's all that information that they load onto the Ryan system now, I don't know if that's gonna come over to the county side now and that'll be something that my office will be doing or not. That hasn't been all, nobody's really talked about that end of it, so I don't know.
Well, it's not a crisis yet.
No, well, yeah.
All right.
Only thing I have is, last week when I was reviewing claims, you know, we get a lot of, like, Westgate, Castles. There was a lot of them that just had Mineral County on there and then a signature. And sometimes you couldn't even tell who was signing for it. So if you have somebody other than yourself, or even yourself, go over there, make sure it's Mineral County Sheriff's Office, Mineral County Attorney's Office, Mineral County Health Department, or whatever. And then if it's other than yourself, one of your employees, Casey's gonna make sure that the department had at least initials so that somebody isn't charging something to your office that you're not so sure that you want, you know. So, when she gets the ones in from Castles and Westgate, and then I think there was a couple from the hardware store that, and then like the health department, you can put on there what fund you want out of it or whatever. So if Casey calls and say, hey, I've got Westgates or Castles or something, could you come down and initial your receipts? That would be great. So, because like I said, sometimes there just is Mineral County and a kind of a scratch and you're going, I wonder whose that is, you know. So it just makes it a lot easier going through them to make sure that they're coming out of the right funds.
Well, and then also I forgot, since Stacy's not here, January 11th is
Yeah.
the opening for enrollment.
Oh, is it? I was gonna ask when it was.
And she's
Yes,
got,
11th.
she's got a sheet up there to tell you how much the filing fees are, because I think most of us.
Yeah, except for Kathleen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask when the
It's
big day
January
was.
11th to March 12th.
Yep.
Thursday, January 11th.
Filing for,
For
For
public
elected
office.
officials.
Public office. We all have to
for
run.
election this next year, or this year, we are in this year, aren't we? Okay, let the games begin.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
to see ya.
Roman
Good
didn't have
information.
anything? Well, Lori's
Yeah,
been
we're trying to get out
out
of here.
shoveling and salting and doing.
I heard that.
Thank you.
Yes, so appreciative.